Ja zawsze po prostu
I don't know why, but I was the only one who could greet him. So I was the only one who thought that people. So nobody.
yeah, she looked at one.
Yeah.
That's why.
Nobody.
I was very well.
Now we're full.
You need to talk to them. No point to talk to them.
Yeah.
That's the real exam.
Yeah.
My ticket for in the movie.
This is just a show.
Yeah.
When you how old you
Unfortunately.
Nice body. Really? Oh, I never saw them before. Where do they come from? Maybe you should change your glasses and show. So we're on
75.
which one? Which number? 74?
75.
78.
8?
Yeah, I think it's 8.
Yeah, that one is fine.
Ah, yeah.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Yeah, you're right, 75.
75 years.
And the Lord's attempt to go to
Which
Vrindavan.
chapter?
16.
1675.
Perfect.
In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught the distinctions between the different types of Vaishnavas, the Vaishnava Attara, and the Vaishnava Attam. He thus successfully explained all the symptoms of a Vaishnava to the inhabitants of Kulinagrad. Finally, all the Vaishnavas returned to Bengal, but that year, Pundarik Vijayanidhi remained at Jagannath Puri. Swarup Damodar Goswami and Pundarik Vijayanidhi had a friendly, intimate relationship, and as far as discussing topics about Krishna, they were situated on the same platform. Pundarik Vijayanidhi initiated Gadadhar Pandit for the second time. On the day of Odana Shashti, Pundarik Vijayanidhi saw the festival. Purport. At the beginning of winter, there is a ceremony known as Odana Shashti. This ceremony indicates that from that day forward, a winter covering should be given to Lord Jagannath. That covering is directly purchased from a weaver. According to the Archana Marg, a cloth should first be washed to remove all the starch, and then it can be used to cover the Lord. Pundarik Vijayanidhi saw that the priest neglected to wash the cloth before covering Lord Jagannath. Since he wanted to find some fault in the devotees, he became indignant. When Pundarik Vijayanidhi saw that Lord Jagannath was given a starch garment, he became a little hateful. In this way, his mind was polluted. That night, the brothers, Lord Jagannath and Balaram, came to Pundarik Vijayanidhi and smiling began to slap him.
Smiling. He's smiling.
Just like, you remember in the Gita, Krishna, when he was chastising Arjuna, it said Krishna smiling.
Yes.
He's always smiling, but he's going to slap him. Although his cheeks were swollen from the slapping, Pundarik Vijayanidhi was very happy within. This incident has been elaborately described by Thakur Vrindavan Das. Every year, the devotees of Bengal would come and stay with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to see the Rath Yatra festival. Whatever happened during those years, it is worth noting, shall be described later. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed 4 years. He spent the first 2 years on his tour in South India. The other 2 years, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, but he could not leave Jagannath Puri because Ramananda Roy's tricks. During the 5th year, the devotees from Bengal came to see the Rath Yatra festival. After seeing it, they did not stay but returned to Bengal. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed a proposal before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Roy. He embraced them and spoke sweet words. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My desire to go to Vrindavan has been very much increased. Because of your tricks, I have not been able to go there for the past 2 years. This time I must go. Will you please give me permission? Save for you two, I have no other resort. In Bengal, I have 2 shelters, my mother and the river Ganges. Both of them are very merciful. I shall go to Vrindavan through Bengal and see both my mother and the river Ganges. Now, would you two be pleased to give me permission?" When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Roy heard these words, they began to consider that it was not at all good that they had played so many tricks on the Lord. They both said, "Now that the rainy season is here, it will be difficult for you to travel. It is better to wait for Vijay Dasani before departing for Vrindavan." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to receive their permission. He waited until the rainy season passed, and when the day of Vijay Dasani arrived, he departed for Vrindavan. The Lord collected whatever remnants of food were left by Lord Jagannath. He also took remnants of the Lord's kadar, ointment, sandalwood, and ropes with him. After taking Lord Jagannath's permission, early in the morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed, and all the devotees of Orissa began following him. With great care, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forbade the Orissan devotees to follow him. Then, accompanied by his personal associates, he first went to Bhavanipur. One goes through Bhavanipur before reaching a well-known place named Jankadevi Pura, or Janaki Pura. After Lord Chaitanya reached Bhavanipura, Ramananda Roy arrived on his palanquin, and Vaninath Roy had a large quantity of prasadam sent to the Lord. After taking prasadam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained there for the night. Early in the morning, he began walking and finally reached Bhuvaneshwar. What is Bhuvaneshwar famous for? You know Bhuvaneshwar? Lord Shiva. After reaching the city of Katak, he saw the temple of Gopal, and a Brahmin there named Swapneshwara invited the Lord to eat. Ramananda Roy invited all the others for their meals, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made his resting place in a garden outside the temple. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking rest beneath a bakula tree, Ramananda Roy immediately went to Maharaj Prataparudra. The king was very happy to hear the news, and he hastily went there. Upon seeing the Lord, he fell flat to offer him obeisances. Being overwhelmed with love, the king again and again got up and fell down. When he offered prayers, his whole body shivered, and tears fell from his eyes. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to see the devotion of the king, and he therefore stood up and embraced him. When the Lord embraced the king again and again offered prayers and obeisances. In this way, the Lord's mercy brought tears from the king, and the Lord's body was bathed in these tears. Finally, Ramananda Roy pacified the king and made him sit down. The Lord bestowed mercy upon him through his body, mind, and words. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed such mercy to the king that from that day on, the Lord became known as Pratiparudra Santrata, the deliverer of Maharaj Prataparudra. All the governmental officers also paid their respects to the Lord. And finally, the king and his men bade them farewell to the son of Narasachi. The king then went outside and had orders written down and sent to the government servants within his kingdom. His orders read, "In every village you should construct new residences, and in 5 or 7 new houses you should store all kinds of food. You should personally take the Lord to see these newly constructed houses. Day and night you should engage in his service with a stick in your hands." The king ordered 2 respectable officers named Harichandana and Mardaraj to do whatever was necessary to carry out these orders. The king also ordered them to maintain a new boat on the banks of the river, and wherever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his bath or crossed to the other side of the river, they should establish a memorial column and make that place a great place of pilgrimage. Indeed, said the king, I will take my bath there, and let me also die there. The king continued, at Charitamrita, please construct new residential quarters. Now, Ramananda, you can return to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the king heard that the Lord was leaving that evening, he immediately made arrangements for some elephants with small tents on their back to be brought there. Then all the ladies of the palace got on the elephant. All these ladies went to see the road the Lord was taking and remained there in a line. That evening, the Lord departed with his devotees. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the bank of the river Chitrapala to take his bath, all the queens and ladies of the palace offered their obeisances to him. Upon seeing the Lord, they all felt themselves overwhelmed with love of Godhead, and tears pouring from their eyes, they began to chant the holy name, Krishna, Krishna. There is no one as merciful as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within all the three worlds. Simply by seeing him from a distance, one is overwhelmed with love of Godhead. The Lord then got into a new boat and crossed the river. Walking in the full moonlight, he finally reached the town known as Charitamrita. The Lord spent the night there and in the morning took his bath. At that time, remnants of Lord Jagannath's food arrived. Following the king's orders, the superintendent of the temple sent large quantities of prasadam every day, and it was carried by many persons. After accepting the prasadam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood up and started to go, chanting the holy names, Hari, Hari. Ramananda Roy, Maharaj, and Sri Hari Chandana always went with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and rendered various services. Paramananda Puri Goswami, Swarup Damodar, Jagadananda, Mukunda, Govinda, Kashifara, Haridas Thakur, Rateshwara Pandit, Gopinath Acharya, Damodar Pandit, Ramai, Nindai, and many other devotees accompanied the Lord. I have mentioned only the chief devotees. No one can describe the total number. When Gadadhar Pandit started to go with the Lord, he was forbidden to come and asked not to give up the vow of Kshetra Sannyas. Purport. When one takes Kshetra Sannyas, he leaves his household life and goes to a place of pilgrimage devoted to Lord Vishnu. Such places include Purushottam, Jagannath Puri, Navadvipam, and Mathuradam. The Kshetra Sannyasi lives in these places alone or with his family. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur considered Kshetra Sannyas to be the preferable Vanaprastha situation in this age of Kali. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya lived in this way, and he has been called a Kshetra Sannyasi, that is, a sannyasi living in Jagannath Puri. When he was requested to return to Jagannath Puri, Gadadhar Pandit told the Lord, wherever you are staying is Jagannath Puri. Let my so-called Kshetra Sannyas go to hell. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Gadadhar Pandit to remain at Jagannath Puri and engage in Gopinath service, Gadadhar Pandit replied, one renders service to Gopinath a million times simply by seeing your lotus feet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, if you abandon his service, it will be my fault. It is better that you remain here and render service. That will be my satisfaction. The Pandit replied, do not worry. All the faults will be on my head. I shall not accompany you, but shall go alone. I shall go to see Sachimata, but I shall not go for your sake. I shall be responsible for the abandoning of my vow and service to Gopinath. Thus Gadadhar Pandit Goswami travelled alone. But when they all arrived at Katak, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him and he went into the Lord's company. No one can understand the loving intimacy between Gadadhar Pandit and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhar Pandit gave up his vow and service to Gopinath just as one gives up a piece of straw. Purport. Just to get Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association, Gadadhar Pandit gave up his life's vow to engage in Gopinath service. This kind of loving affection can be understood only by very confidential devotees. Ordinarily, no one can understand its purport. Gadadhar Pandit's behavior was very pleasing to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord took his hand and spoke to him, displaying the anger of love. You have abandoned Gopinath service and broken your vow to live in Puri. All that is now complete because you have come so far. Your wanting to go with me is simply a desire for sense gratification. In this way, you are breaking two religious principles, and because of this, I am very unhappy. If you want my happiness, please return to Nilachana. You will simply condemn me if you say any more about this matter. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into a boat and Gadadhar Pandit immediately fell down unconscious. Oh. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to take Gadadhar Pandit with him. The Bhattacharya told Gadadhar Pandit, "Get up." Such are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You should know that Lord Krishna himself violated his own promise just to keep the promise of grandfather Bhishma. Intending to make my promise true, Lord Krishna broke his own promise not to take up a weapon at Kurukshetra. With his outer garment falling off, Lord Sri Krishna jumped from his chariot, picked up a wheel, and came running at me to kill me. Indeed, he rushed at me like a lion going to kill an elephant, and he caused the whole earth to tremble. Purport. Lord Krishna promised not to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, or even take up a weapon. But when Bhishma wanted to keep his own promise to break the promise of the Lord immediately got down from the chariot. And to make Bhishma's promise true, he picked up a chariot wheel and rushed forward to kill him. There's a quotation from first canto. Similarly, tolerating separation from you, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has protected your vow with great endeavour. In this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya revived Gadadhar Pandit. Then both of them, very much grief-stricken, returned to Jagannath Puri, Nilachara. All the devotees would abandon all kinds of duties for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sake, yet the Lord did not like the devotees giving up their promised duties. All these are the misgivings of loving affairs. Whoever listens to these incidents gets the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet very soon. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his party arrived at Yajapura, the Lord asked the two government officers who had come with him to return. The place called Yajapura is very well known in Orissa. It is the subdivision of the Cuttack district and is situated on the southern side of the Vaitarani River. Formerly, great sages performed sacrifices on the northern bank of the Vaitarani River. Consequently, the place is known as Yajapura, the place where sacrifices are performed. Some people say that this was one of the capital cities of the king Yayati, and that from the name Yayati Nagara, the name Yajapura has come, as stated in Mahabharata. According to the Mahabharata, great sages formerly performed sacrifices in this place. There are still many temples of demigods and incarnations there, and there is also a deity of Sri Varahadev. This deity is especially important and is visited by many pilgrims. Those who worship the Supreme Lord's energy worship Varahi, Vaishnavi, and Indrani, as well as many similar forms of Devi, the internal energy. There are many deities of Lord Shiva, and there are many places along the river known as Daishasvamedha Ghats. Sometimes Yajapura is also called Nabikaya, or Virajakshetra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bade farewell to the officers, and Roy Ramananda continued on with the Lord. The Lord talked to Ramananda Roy about Sri Krishna day and night. In each and every village, in compliance with the king's order, government officers constructed new houses and filled each of them with stocks of grain. Thus they served the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at Ramuna, where he bade farewell to Sri Ramananda Roy. It was stated in the first chapter of Madhya Lila, verse 149, that Ramananda Roy has bade farewell from Badrak. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that in those days the place called Ramuna also included Badraka. When Ramananda Roy fell to the ground and lost consciousness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took him upon his lap and began to cry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings of separation from Ramananda Roy are very difficult to describe. Indeed, it is almost intolerable to do so, and therefore I cannot describe them further. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at the border of the state of Orissa, a government officer came there to meet him. For 2 or 4 days, the government officer served the Lord. He also gave the Lord detailed information of what was ahead. He informed the Lord that the territory ahead was ruled by a Muslim governor who was a drunkard. Out of fear of this king, no one could walk the road freely. The jurisdiction of the Muslim government extended up to Picha Lada. Due to fear of the Muslims, no one would cross the river. During the old days, Picha Lada was part of Tamnaluka and Bengal. Picha Lada is located about 14 miles south of Tamaluka. The river Rupa Narayan is well known as in Tamaluka, and Picha Lada was situated on the bank of the Rupa Narayan River. Maharaj Prataparudra's government officer further informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he should stay at the Orissa border for some days, so that a peaceful agreement could be negotiated with the Muslim governor. In that way, the Lord would be able to cross the river peacefully in a boat. At that time, a follower of the Muslim governor arrived at the Orissa encampment dressed in disguise. The Muslim spy saw the wonderful characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when he returned to the Muslim governor, he told him, a mendicant has come from Jagannath Puri with many liberated persons. All these saintly people incessantly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and they all laugh, dance, chant, and cry. Many millions upon millions of people come to see him, and after they see him, they cannot return home. All these people become like madmen. They simply chant the holy name of Krishna and dance. Sometimes they even cry and roll on the ground. Actually, these things cannot even be described. One can understand them only by seeing. Considering his influence, I accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After saying this, the messenger began to chant the holy names of Hari and Krishna. He also began to laugh and cry, dance and sing exactly like a madman. When the Muslim governor heard this, his mind changed. He then sent his secretary to the representative of the Orissan government. The Muslim secretary came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he offered his respects to the Lord's lotus feet and uttered the holy name of the Lord, Krishna, Krishna, he also was overwhelmed with ecstatic love. After calming down, the Muslim secretary offered his respects and informed the representative of the Orissan government, the Muslim governor has sent me here. If you agree, the Muslim governor will come here to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then return. The Muslim governor is very eager and he has admitted this petition with great respect. It is a proposal for peace. You need not fear that we will fight. Upon hearing this proposal, the representative of the arisen government, the Mahapatra, was very much astonished. He thought, the Muslim governor is a drunkard. Who has changed his mind? It must be Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself who has changed the Muslim's mind. Due to his presence, and even due to his remembrance, the whole world is liberated. Purport. From this we can understand that since the Muslim governor was a drunkard, a japa, ordinarily there could have been no chance that he would change. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could turn anyone's mind to Krishna consciousness. One can be delivered from material existence simply by remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's holy name or by visiting him. This Krishna consciousness movement is being spread throughout the world, but not even one Yavana or Malecha addicted to drinking could have changed and accepted Krishna consciousness without Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace. People are often astonished to see many thousands of Westerners converted to Vaishnavism. Generally, Westerners are addicted to meat eating, drinking, gambling, and illicit sex. Therefore, the taking of Krishna consciousness is astonishing. In India, especially, there is much astonishment at this. The answer, however, is given here. Darshana smarane jagat harina. This change is made possible simply by the remembrance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Western devotees are very sincerely chanting the holy names of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, people are being purified